Hi, well, welcome again to spend a little time with me. This is day 2 of our training on how you can create strategic change that will improve your business and enhance your life. And I am Christie Ruffino, and we are going to talk about your risk list today. Yesterday, we kind of identified and journaled all of the things that you may want to change this year. And today we're going to dive a little bit deeper. We're going to banish a little bit of the fear, and we are going to really identify the areas that you should really focus on. So, when we were kids, it was so much easier to go through life and just live with complete freedom. We had no fear. We could climb trees, jump in freezing cold water without even thinking about it. It was just so much different then. We even just spoke without thinking. I don't really remember myself, but I remember my children where things just came out of their mouth. To other people, to strangers or people in grocery stores. And I would sit there and look and say, what did you just say that? So yes, kids do not have filters. We develop those filters as we get older and we start facing the consequences of the things we do and say. So all I know is as we do grow and we start putting these filters in our life and these restraints, we start playing it safe. And then we just start coasting through life. And that's when we'll look back and we'll realize that, my gosh, we've just been living a life of mediocrity. So just like the parable of the talents, I'm not sure, whether you read the Bible, whatever religion you are, there's a great story in the Bible about he was the master of a big piece of land, and he was going on a journey, and he entrusted his property, his wealth, to 3 of his servants. And what he did is he gave each of the servants different shares of his wealth based on their abilities. And so as the story goes, as the parable goes, is he gave 5 talents to the servant that he thought was the most qualified. Then the average servant, he gave 3 talents. And then the slug, I guess you want to say, the lazy servant, he gave only 1 talent. And then he went on his way and he just entrusted them to do what they would. And then what happened is when he came back, I don't know if he was shocked, but he basically realized what happened and he dealt with it in his own way. And the servant that had 5 talents and he invested them, he traded with them, and he did activities to be able to multiply his master's wealth. He went out and he maybe did a few things that were risky, but either way, he was able to utilize his gifts and his wisdom to be able to create more stuff for his master. So when the master came back and saw this, he was really pleased with that servant and he rewarded him greatly. And then he talked to the average servant, and he had 3 talents and he invested them. So he ended up by having only 6 talents. So he doubled them. I guess he didn't really expect a whole lot from him. And he didn't get a whole lot. So he was grateful, but he didn't necessarily reward him to the same level that he did the other servant. And then he got around to the lazy servant, and he asked this servant, what did he do with that, those riches that he was entrusted with? And the servant was actually very proud of himself. And he said, Master, I took everything you gave me and I buried it out back. So that way, when you came back, it would be nice and safe. And so the master basically said, be away with you. you sluggard, you lazy servant. I entrusted you to take care of my wealth and to multiply it, not to just bury it. So he came back and he basically banished that servant for being not really doing the best he could with his riches that he shared with him. So I like that parable. That is something that I think of often. And I think it is really easy for us to just take what we have. And honestly, it's not about money. It's about our gifts. God created us, or your creator instilled certain things into you, gave you a certain wisdom and talents and gifts that you really need to share those with the world. And if you don't do that, you're going to look back one of these days and really regret not being able to tap into those gifts. So let me ask you a question. What would you do if you absolutely knew you couldn't fail? That is what we're looking for here. We want you to go back into your list and we want you to find the biggest things that you want to change, the most scariest things that you could change, the things that you would love to do, but you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't even dare put that on my list because it's just too huge. And honestly, I want you to put on your big girl pants and I want you to find those 3 items and I want you to identify them as your risky list. And I want you to do that, and I want you to think about this because those things are what you are meant to do. And those are the things that are scary now, but those are the things that God entrusted you to accomplish, and that he wired you and built you to accomplish those things. And they're scary because that is where you're going to make the biggest impact. So think about that. Identify your risky list, the 3 things that you feel that you should be doing, or 3 things that you should be changing and getting rid of. Whatever those changes are, you need to identify the biggest ones, and you need to go ahead and write those in your journal and own them as the 3 things on your risky list, and then you'll come back tomorrow for the next video. But in the meantime, I would really love to connect with you. And we have a couple of ways to make that happen. Of course, we have our women's networking organization. It's called the Dynamic Professional Women's Network. And you could visit that website at ourdpwn.com. We do not have a Facebook group for that because it is a closed organization. So only members are in our Facebook group. But you can go ahead and visit the website. You can kind of see what we're all about. We have chapters in multiple towns and in multiple states. We're always looking to expand. So if you're seeing this video and you think, I'd love to have a referral team in my backyard and I'd love to head that up, then reach out to me. We'll schedule a call and talk about what that looks like. So that's one way. Another way is for you to join our author network. And that is a group of women which you are welcome to join us, that recognize the value of having a book. Either they are in the process of or have finished their own book, or they have joined our Overcoming Mediocrity project. And that is a series of books where women write a single chapter. And it's kind of like the Chicken Soup for the Souls books. But ours, I feel, are way better. Each book has 15 to 25 women in it, and each story is completely unique, and it is shared. The women share their story so they can empower and encourage other people to learn from them or overcome whatever obstacle that they have in their way by sharing the journey and the wisdom that they've learned along the way. So those are 2 ways. And the third way that I hope everybody joins in is we actually have an open Facebook group, and it's for women, women who want to get out their inner strength, and it's called Core Strong Women, and it is an open group for everybody. So go ahead and join that and welcome yourself, and we will look forward to seeing you there, as well as I will look forward to sharing with you tomorrow on video number 3. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.